1971. Of course, we all know that's recording there is from Who's Next, the Who's classic 1971 album, released in August of 1971, and it became their best album. Well, I consider their best album ever. Of course, it was Tommy too, but it has a very focused. There's every song is there's no throwaway tracks. It's an album you want to listen to from beginning to end. And I used to listen to this album a lot growing up, and I was able to obtain a 180 vinyl pressing of it, and they didn't change any cover. Everything's pretty original. And I don't even see where it says 180, but it is because the thickness of the vinyl. 1971 Griffin Records, Colorado Avenue, distributed by Universal Music Distribution, but you know, we all know it's on the MCA label. And I got this at a place called Skinny's Records in Norfolk, Virginia. Skinny's is an independent music store, record store, owned and operated by my friend there, Steve. And a few more things I picked up from Steve. War, Platinum Jazz. It's a 2-album set, gatefold, of War taking a different road of recording jazz music. Kind of a funky, soulful jazz, and they are very good at it. I mean, if you're a jazz purist, it's probably not for you, but if you ever find this vinyl at a thrift store or a music store, and it's in good condition like this one is, buy it. I brought this from my friend Steve. Took it home. He let me try it out first, and it's absolutely fantastic. This is a kind of album that you want to listen to late at night when you just want to chill out, just relax, take a load off, just kind of tune your mind out of all your problems and listen to some good, free-flowing, improvised music. And War, I mean, we know them from their hits, but they were extremely good musicians. And this album, Platinum Jazz, which came out in 1977, very different than, you know, the what they were doing, gave them room to really stretch out. So if you run across this, buy it. Heavily recommended. Also, from Skinny's, I got the Jefferson Airplane. I guess they were calling themselves the Airplane after bathing at I'm just going to hold the title up. Their follow-up to Pillow, which I really like this album a lot, and I was able to get a hold of a earlier pressing, which this is, and the inner jacket. This is the original inner jacket the album came in, and the Victor Hound Dog label. So that's pretty cool. Put that back in its inner sleeve. Neat artwork. I'm still reeling from my two finds from a couple weeks ago. The Rolling Stones Hot Rocks vinyl and album cover are in like perfect condition. No wear, nothing. It's like somebody purchased it and just put it away. But I paid a little bit of money for this one, so I'm really happy to find it. And of course, $2 at a thrift store. Benny Goodman on that label. The complete Benny Goodman Volume 2, 1935-1936. Great big band music. Really top-notch jazz musicians at the top of their game. Okay, let's get on. I had a good find at my usual thrift store I go to. I've had many good finds there. And I came across a good find a couple of weeks ago, so I want to share that with you. Frank Sinatra. No One Cares. Look at that. Old Frank's at the bar, sad, gulping down a bourbon with everyone behind them in a joyful mood, just laughing and talking, but poor Frank looks like he had his heart broken. And this is an album. Frank Sinatra sings ballads of in a lonely mood with rich background and arranged and conducted by Gordon Jenkins, who worked with Frank quite extensively. And of course the great liner notes. And I've been wanting this album and I found it. It's a later pressing, full dimension stereo, and the rainbow label. So it's not one of the earlier pressings, but it's it also had inside sleeve the albums of the day. The Duplifonics, which is once in a lifetime performance, now available on Capitol. Duplifonics, all-time favorites. So that was kind of like their stereo. Duplifonic sound creates electronically the spacious in-depth of stereo, most importantly eliminating the center of sound and all over letdown of mono recording plays on a stereo system. Anyway, give some information on the what that's about. And let's see, Oklahoma, the King Eye, Judy Garland, the Kingston Trio, Nat King Cole, Peggy Lee, Benny Goodman. So, you know, those type of acts that were on the Capitol label back then. This is a group that was supposed to be a counter to Blood, Sweat and Tears, called the Electric Flag Band, an American music band. A long time coming, and I like that cover, and kind of purple, psychedelic, with the band members, you know, the players through here, and the beautiful woman in the middle. And it has a picture of the band, very period, 1968. And this was a band created by Michael Bloomfield, and Buddy Miles drums. guy who played with, who was associated with Jimi Hendrix and recorded with him, and they were army buddies too. So this was supposed to be a counter to Blood, Sweat and Tears. And they had short-term success. This was their debut album. It did quite well. So if you want to know more of their history, just look them up. But very period-oriented. The guy in the far end right here is wearing those bell-bottom pants. This is pretty good. It came out in 1968, and about what I expected. Now, I've never found any B.B. King records at thrift stores, or if I have, they were in very bad shape, but I was lucky enough to come across these two. B.B. King in London. Let's see how am I doing on my time. Okay. Gatefold. And this was recorded in 1971. BB recorded in London with all, who's of British musicians, and I'll name some. Gary Wright, Jim Keltner, Jim Gordon, Ringo Starr, of course, all famous drummers. Saxophonist Bobby Keys, who has toured and recorded with the Stones. Klaus Voormann, Beatle associated, and played on many of the Beatles solo albums, especially George Harrison, John Lennon. Steve Morat. Let's see, who else? Jim Price, another arranger and musician, and this is a very good, very good album. I mean, they just get into a nice groove and stay there. But it has a picture of BB, and he looks like he's walking by the Prime Minister's house. So I guess that was arranged. And another B.B. King album that was released about that same time. BB LA Midnight, and on the back the credits. And both of these are on the old ABC record label. Remember that? Three Dog Night was on that label, and it has a host of players, but the most notable were Joe Walsh. We all know who Joe Walsh is, and Jesse Davis, who played on many sessions for John Lennon's solo albums. So I don't find too many blues records at thrift stores, but did come across those. I've been a big fan of this artist for many years, and he's still around. He's still touring especially the casinos, and down in Louisiana and Vegas and all that. And he put out a series of live albums back in the 60s, which became popular, and this was the most popular. Johnny Rivers, Whiskey A Go-Go, recorded live at the Whiskey A Go-Go, Hollywood, California. And Memphis was the big hit, but the whole album is great. Just Johnny Rivers, bass and drums, Joe Osborne and Eddie Rubin. And this album went into the top 10 and had a #2 song, Memphis. Johnny Rivers, 22 years old, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and great. I already have one of his Whiskey A Go Go albums. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's in here. Just enjoy the music while I look for it. Oh, here it is. Like I said, he put out a series of Whiskey A Go Go albums. And here's the second follow-up. Here we have Go Go Again. And this one has Maybelline, Dang Me, a couple of Beatles songs. A Beatles song, I think, yeah. And so, Josine, High Heel Sneakers, Can't Buy Me Love, I Got a Woman, Baby What You Trying to Do, old Jimmy Reed song, Midnight Special, Roll Over Beethoven, Walking Myself Back Home, Johnny Be Good, Whole Lot Shakin'. So just good live bar friendly music to listen to. You can't go wrong. In the mention of live albums, those never get too much mention or credit. It's a shame. Okay, we got the You Lost That Loving Feeling, the Righteous Brothers. And on the back, the picture of the Righteous Brothers with Phil Spector. Boy, I knew someday he would get in serious trouble with those guns. A copy of The Best of Peter, Paul, and Mary, still in the shrink wrap, unopened. Manufactured by RCA Records, Indianapolis, Indiana, under license. So somebody got this to a record club. The Raiders, Indian Reservation. Great album, really good. Very exciting to find this one because, and I paid like $1.49 for all of these, except the Who and the Stones Hot Rocks, which I paid more. Traffic. John Barley, Must Die. And this is an early pressing, because I know it's an early pressing. The vinyl's in the album cover's in very, very good shape. Nice and shiny, gatefold. And it's an early pressing because I don't see any, you know, if you, unauthorized recording will result to you going to penitentiary for a zillion years. And also the old United label. And the vinyl's in really good shape. I mean, there are scratches on it, but it plays well. So somebody got their use out of that one. And also the inner sleeve has the reprise recording artists of the day. So nice original package. Lastly, I had a luck of finding Gasoline Alley by Rod Stewart, one of his early albums, and this one right here was to follow up to Every Picture Tells a Story, which had Maggie May, his big hit. Never a Dull Moment. Him sitting in the chair looking very bored. And this has a weird gatefold type of setting right here. And then the record album is actually on the side where normally the title will go. And the guy at the thrift store, they look at what you're buying inside, make sure you're not carrying off any other records, and he had a hard time finding this. So that's it. Those are my latest vinyl finds. Mention Skinnies again, as I did at the beginning. if you happen to live in Norfolk, Virginia, or Tidewater area, or Hampton Roads, you know, go check what Steve has out, because he has amazing stuff. You have to dig, and he's a great person just to talk to about music and everything. So that's it. That's a wrap. A little sponsor from a word from our sponsor, and we're using a retro Pepsi bottle here, Pepsi Cola, the refreshing drink that will cool you down during the summer. Thank you so much. Your comments are welcome. Bye, Vinyl Community.